Many of my brothers and sisters face conflict with their spouse over very tiny things, like you do not appreciate me, why you do not give me a good compliment, why you did not ask me how my day was, why you replied like that, why you looked at your phone while I was talking. Small things, but they sting like a needle again and again until the heart starts bleeding. And then one tiny issue becomes a huge fight, not because the issue is big, but because the hearts are already full. My sister, my brother, if you are living this cycle, do not rush past this message, because what I am about to share can save years of your life. There is one prophetic character change that if you apply it inside your marriage, will start shutting down arguments before they become fires, and it will bring peace back into your home like rain after a drought. Most people never learn it. They keep repeating the same fights with different words until one day they wake up and the love feels cold and unfamiliar. Stay with this message till the end, and I promise you, you will walk away with the solution and a clear first step you can do today, not tomorrow, today. Comment, I love Allah right now, so this message reaches the people who are suffering quietly and smiling loudly, and so your comment becomes a means of goodness for someone else. And listen carefully, because the last part will shock you. It is the thing most marriages collapse on without even realizing. Let me speak gently but honestly. A lot of couples are not fighting because they hate each other. They are fighting because their hearts are tired, their tongues are untrained, and their homes have lost the habit of mercy. They fight over small things, but it is never about the dishes or the money or the phone or the tone. It is about the feeling underneath. It is about disrespect. It is about feeling unappreciated. It is about fear. It is about the pain of being misunderstood. And when that pain keeps piling up, the heart becomes like a cup that is already full. One drop falls and it overflows. Then the husband says one sentence, the wife answers with another, and suddenly you are both saying things you never wanted to say. Later you regret. Later you cry. Later you feel ashamed, but you repeat it again because you do not know the character change that stops the chain reaction. Now I want you to hold this thought. The Lord of all worlds describes marriage as a place where love and mercy are placed between two people. That means mercy is not a decoration. Mercy is the engine. Mercy is not an optional extra. Mercy is the foundation. When mercy disappears, the same house becomes heavy. The same room becomes tense. The same spouse becomes difficult. So the question is not only how do we stop fighting, the question is how do we bring back mercy? And here is the prophetic character change that does it faster than anything else. The change is gentleness, not weakness, not silence in the face of harm. Gentleness in your tone, your words, your reaction, your timing, and your intention. This is the one character shift that transforms arguments into conversations and turns shouting into understanding. And I am going to take you through it slowly, so you do not only feel inspired, you actually change. Some people hear gentleness and they think it means being soft all the time, letting everything pass, tolerating injustice, becoming a doormat. No, my sister, my brother, that is not what I mean. Gentleness is strength. Gentleness is controlling your ego when it wants to dominate. Gentleness is choosing words that heal instead of words that cut. Gentleness is keeping your dignity while keeping your heart clean. Gentleness is not losing your rights, it is gaining peace. And when you understand this properly, you will stop seeing gentleness as a personality trait, and you will start seeing it as worship, because our Almighty Creator loves gentleness and it enters the home like light. Let me show you how fights grow. A husband comes home tired. The wife is tired too. She has carried the weight of the day, maybe children, maybe work, maybe loneliness. She says something, but she says it with a sharp tone, not because she wants war, but because her heart is already wounded. The husband hears tone, not words. He replies with coldness. The wife hears coldness, not words. She feels rejected. She raises her voice. He raises his pride. She brings up the past. He brings up her flaws. Suddenly, you are not talking about the present moment anymore. You are digging up graves. And all of it started from one small moment where gentleness was absent. Now imagine if in that exact moment, one person chose gentleness. Imagine the wife said, I missed you today. I had a hard day. Can you sit with me for a moment? Imagine the husband said, I hear you. Give me 5 minutes to breathe and then I am yours. You see how the door changes. Gentleness changes the direction of the entire home. Now you might say, but my spouse is not gentle. They trigger me. They disrespect me first. My sister, my brother, listen carefully, because this is where people misunderstand faith. You are not gentle because your spouse deserves it. You are gentle because Allah deserves your obedience and because you fear meeting Allah with a tongue that wounded the person closest to you. This is why the prophetic way is so powerful. It does not depend on the mood of your spouse. It depends on the strength of your relationship with the Lord of all. When you treat gentleness as worship, you become consistent, and consistency creates safety, and safety creates calm, and calm reduces fighting. But let us be practical. How do you become gentle when you are angry? Because that is the moment where most people fail. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught that real strength is not in overpowering others. Real strength is controlling yourself when you are angry. That means anger is not a license. Anger is not permission to insult. Anger is not permission to humiliate. Anger is not permission to break hearts and then say, I was just angry. In the sight of our Creator, your anger does not excuse dhalam, it does not excuse cruelty. So the first part of gentleness is controlling your reaction when the fire begins. I want you to picture anger like a matchstick. The moment it lights, you still have time. If you blow it out early, nothing burns. If you let it touch paper, now you have a problem. If you let it touch curtains, now you have a disaster. Most couples let the matchstick touch the curtains. They do not pause, they do not breathe, they do not delay, they do not think of Allah. They just release words. So your gentleness begins with one simple habit. Delay your response by a few seconds. This delay is not weakness, it is wisdom. It gives your brain time to choose mercy over ego. It gives your heart time to remember that this spouse is not your enemy. It gives you time to remember that you will regret harsh words later. And in those few seconds, if you whisper remembrance of Allah, your soul comes back into the room. Now let us connect this delay to something beautiful. The Quran teaches us that good and evil are not equal, and that we should respond with what is better. Then the one who was an enemy can become like a close friend. Many people want their spouse to become soft again. They want love again. They want friendship again, but they keep responding to wrong with wrong. They keep matching harshness with harshness. They keep matching sarcasm with sarcasm. They keep matching coldness with coldness, and then they are shocked that the home becomes colder. If you want a different result, you need a different character. Respond with what is better. This is the Quranic prescription. It is not easy, but it is life-changing. Now I know what you are thinking, but what if I respond gently and my spouse takes advantage? What if I respond gently and they keep disrespecting my sister, my brother? Gentleness does not mean you accept harm. There is a difference between being gentle and being silent about injustice. Gentleness is your tone. Boundaries are your action. You can speak with gentleness and still be firm. You can say, I am ready to talk, but I will not accept insults. You can say, I respect you, but I will not be shouted at. You can say, I want peace, but I will not allow this home to become toxic. Notice the words. Calm, dignified, firm. This is prophetic character. It is not dramatic, it is not loud, it is strong. Many people think strength is shouting. No, strength is controlling yourself and still standing for what is right. Now let us move to the second layer of gentleness, because this is where fighting truly reduces. Gentleness is not only what you say, it is how you say it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, taught that a person who believes in Allah and the last day should speak good or remain silent. That means your tongue has two options, goodness or silence. Many couples have a third option, poison, and that option destroys love. Sarcasm, mocking, name-calling, bringing up sensitive insecurities, comparing, threatening. These are not small. These are knives. They cut the heart, then they act surprised when intimacy dies. So the prophetic character change is to remove poison from your tongue. Your spouse should not fear your mouth. Your spouse should not feel unsafe when you are upset. Your spouse should not walk on eggshells around you. When your spouse knows that even in disagreement you will not humiliate them, they relax. And when they relax, they listen. And when they listen, problems get solved. This is why gentleness is not a nice idea. It is a strategy for peace. Let me give you a common example. The wife says, "You never help me." The husband hears, "You are useless." He becomes defensive. He replies, "You always complain." She hears, "Your feelings do not matter." She becomes angry. Now both feel attacked. But if the wife says gently, "I feel overwhelmed. I need your help today. Can you do this with me?" The husband hears a request, not an accusation. He can respond. And if he says, "I am tired, give me a little time," the wife hears a boundary, not rejection. Do you see? Same situation, different character, different result. Gentleness. Now, if you are a sister listening to this, I want you to hear something with love. Many women fight because they are desperate for emotional connection. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to feel valued, so they push harder when they feel ignored. They raise their voice, they repeat the complaint, they chase, but chasing often triggers withdrawal. Many men, when they feel pressure, withdraw more, so you become trapped. You chase, he withdraws, you chase. Then both feel misunderstood. Gentleness breaks this cycle. Instead of chasing with noise, you speak once with calm clarity, then you step back. You give him space to respond. You stop flooding the moment with emotion. You still express your need, but you express it with dignity. This changes the entire dynamic. If you are a brother listening to this, I want you to hear something too. Many men fight because they feel disrespected. They feel criticized. They feel like they are never enough. So they respond with ego. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us to be the best to our spouses. The best of you are those best to their families. That includes how you respond to a woman who is tired, not just how you respond to strangers. A woman's tone might be sharp, but maybe her heart is crying. When you respond with gentleness, you do not lose your manhood, you gain honor with Allah. And you will be shocked how quickly a wife softens when she feels safe. Now I want to take you deeper, because gentleness is not only in conflict, it is in daily life. Most fights are not born in the argument. They are born in the dry days when kindness is absent, when you stop greeting warmly, when you stop smiling, when you stop touching with mercy, when you stop appreciating, when you stop doing small acts of love. Then the heart becomes thirsty, and when the heart is thirsty, one small spark becomes a big fire. So part of the one character change is to make gentleness your default language even outside fights. A gentle greeting when your spouse enters. A gentle thank you when they do something small. A gentle dua, a supplication for them when they are not even listening. A gentle check-in, how are you really? A gentle compliment. This creates a climate, and climate matters. In a warm climate, storms pass quickly. In a cold climate, storms become ice. Some people say, "But my spouse does not deserve these gentle acts." My sister, my brother, you do not do it because they deserve. You do it because you want blessings in your home. You want your children to breathe peace. You want your heart to be light. You want the angels to love your home. And yes, blessings affect provision. When a home is peaceful, you work better, you think better, you sleep better, your health improves, your focus improves, your decisions improve. I have seen people who were stuck financially, and when their home became peaceful, their provision opened because their mind became clear and their stress reduced. Do not underestimate how mercy in your home can make your life richer. Not only with money, but with calm, with health, with joy, with purpose. Now let us address the problem of fairness, because some people will say, "You are telling me to be gentle, but my spouse is harsh." And I have tried. My sister, my brother, if you are dealing with real harm, if there is abuse, if there is fear, if there is danger, then gentleness is not enough. You must seek safety and help. Islam does not ask you to stay in danger. There is a principle in the prophetic teaching that there should be no harm and no causing harm. So protect yourself. Seek trusted support. Seek proper mediation and professional help. But in the majority of homes, the problem is not danger. It is ego. It is poor communication. It is uncontrolled tongues. It is lack of mercy. For that, gentleness is the cure. Now, how do you apply gentleness when your spouse is actively disrespecting you in the moment? Here is where the prophetic character becomes very practical. You lower your voice, you do not raise it. Because when one person lowers, it forces the other to either lower or look crazy. You keep your words short because long lectures in anger feel like attacks. You focus on one issue only because when you bring 10 issues, it becomes war. You avoid absolute words like always and never because those words are almost always false and they inflame the fight. You do not bring up the past unless it is necessary for a solution because the past is a graveyard and if you keep digging it, your home will smell like death. You speak in the language of feelings and needs, not accusations. You say, I feel hurt. I need respect. I want peace. And then, if the disrespect continues, you pause the conversation, you step away. You say, I will talk when we can be respectful. That is gentleness plus boundaries. This is powerful. Now the next hook, because some of you will ask, what if my spouse uses silence to punish? What if they shut down? Again, gentleness is the cure. Do not chase with panic. Panic feeds the pattern. You send one calm line, I love you and I want peace. I am ready to talk when you are ready to be respectful. Then you stop. You return to your worship. You return to your dignity. You keep your routine. You do not beg. This starves the punishment of its power. And it tells your spouse, I am not your enemy, but I am not your victim. This is prophetic balance. Now, I want to show you a secret that most couples miss. The biggest fights are not caused by the words being said. They are caused by the intention behind the words. When you speak to win, you lose. When you speak to punish, you lose. When you speak to humiliate, you lose. But when you speak to repair, you win. Gentleness is the intention of repair. That is why our Almighty Creator praises those who restrain anger and pardon people. That is why Allah loves those who do good. In marriage, doing good often looks like swallowing your ego for the sake of peace. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you are standing on the day of judgment and your spouse is standing next to you. Your spouse is not a stranger. This is the person who saw you in your worst moods. The person who heard your harsh words. The person who carried your stress. Now imagine Allah asks you, how did you treat this trust? What will you say? That image alone should soften your heart. It should make you fear the weight of your tongue. It should make you want to change today. Because wallahi, some people lose good deeds over words said in the home. And some people gain paradise over mercy shown in the home. So how do you train yourself for gentleness? You train yourself before the fight. You make a rule with yourself. I will not insult. I will not curse. I will not mock. I will not humiliate. I will not threaten divorce in anger. Because threatening divorce is like holding a knife to the marriage. You also make a rule that you will not discuss important issues when hungry, exhausted, or late at night. Because tired minds are weak minds, and weak minds fight. You also make a habit of asking Allah for a soft tongue daily. You ask the Lord of all to remove harshness from your heart. You ask for mercy. You ask for patience. And you do it sincerely because the one who controls hearts can change yours and your spouse's. Now, this message would not be complete if I do not talk about the common trap that keeps fights alive, keeping score. Many couples fight because they are counting. I did this, you did not. I sacrificed, you did not. I apologized, you did not. Counting creates bitterness. Bitterness creates harshness. Harshness creates fights. Gentleness breaks counting. Gentleness says, I will do good, seeking reward from Allah, not seeking applause from a human being. When you do that, your heart becomes lighter, and a lighter heart fights less. This is why spending on your family, even a simple expense, is counted as charity when you do it seeking Allah. This mindset transforms daily life. It turns chores into worship. It turns patience into reward. It turns forgiveness into elevation. It turns the home into a place of blessings. Now, my sister, my brother, let me bring you to the part I promised would shock you. Many people think the one character change is gentleness in the moment of anger. That is true, but the shocking part is what gentleness demands from your ego. It demands that you stop trying to be right all the time. That is why fights continue. Because both spouses want to be right. Both want to win. Both want the other to admit guilt. Both want control. But a marriage is not a courtroom. It is not a debate stage. It is a partnership to reach paradise. So the most shocking and life-changing practice of gentleness is to sometimes let go of being right for the sake of being close. You might be right, but you choose peace. You might have a strong argument, but you choose mercy. You might have evidence, but you choose healing. This does not mean you accept injustice. It means you stop turning every issue into a war. This one shift changes everything, because many fights are not worth the damage they cause. Many fights are about pride. Pride is expensive. It costs you peace. It costs you affection. It costs you intimacy. It costs you blessings. But gentleness makes you rich, rich in calm, rich in love, rich in emotional safety. If you apply this, you will thank me later, not because I want praise, but because you will feel the difference in your chest. You will feel lighter. Your home will feel lighter. Now I want to bring this all together so you leave with a clear plan. The first step is intention. You decide, I want to please Allah in my marriage. That becomes your compass. The second step is training your tongue. Speak good or remain silent. The third step is slowing down your reaction when anger rises, remembering that strength is controlling yourself. The fourth step is daily gentleness, small kindness, appreciation, warm greetings, because fights reduce when hearts are filled. The fifth step is boundaries with gentleness, refusing insults, refusing humiliation, but speaking with dignity. The sixth step is repentance and repair after mistakes. Because you will slip, you are human. So when you slip, apologize quickly. A quick apology is not humiliation, it is honor. It is a sign you fear Allah. It is a sign you value your spouse. It is a sign you value peace more than ego. And that apology can heal more than 100 explanations. Now, let us talk about repair, because many marriages are stuck because they do not know how to repair. They fight, then they sleep angry, then they wake up colder, then they continue. Gentleness demands repair. After a disagreement, even if you are not fully resolved, you do something small to show you are not enemies. A glass of water, a kind word, a calm message, a gentle touch, a prayer together, a simple sentence, I do not want us to be like this. I love you for the sake of Allah. This one line can stop the devil from turning disagreement into hatred. And the Quran teaches us not to let hatred push us away from justice. In marriage, hatred can grow from small fights if you do not repair. Now, my sister, my brother, I want to address one more thing. Many people want their spouse to change, but they refuse to change first. They want gentleness from the other, but they keep sharpness in themselves. That is why this message is powerful, because it puts control back in your hands. You can choose gentleness today. You can decide that your home will not be a place of shouting. You can decide that your children will not grow up fearing voices. You can decide that your spouse will not be humiliated by your tongue. You can decide that your home will be protected by prophetic character. And when you do that, even if your spouse is slow to change, you will be rewarded by Allah. And many times your spouse will eventually soften, because goodness is contagious when it is consistent. Do not miss this chance. Most people hear advice, feel emotional for a moment, then return to the same habits. Then years pass, then they regret. Then they say, I wish I listened. My sister, my brother, do not be that person. Apply one thing today. Choose one moment, just one, where you would normally react harshly and instead you respond gently. You will feel the power immediately. You will feel like you took control back from anger. You will feel like you are leading your home toward peace. And if you repeat it, it becomes your nature. This is how character is built. Now, I want to end with a call that is not only for engagement, but for healing. Comment your situation in a respectful way without exposing private details, and comment your way out. The one gentle change you will apply today. You will be surprised how many people are living the same story, and your comment might make someone feel less alone. And please comment. I love Allah to show support to the channel, because that comment helps this message reach more hearts, and it also reminds your own heart that your love for Allah comes first, even in the middle of marriage struggles. If you apply this one prophetic character change, you will thank me later, you will thank yourself later, and you will thank Allah for guiding you to mercy. Do not miss out, because the marriages that win are not the ones with perfect spouses. They are the ones with people who chose gentleness, chose mercy, and kept Allah at the center.